November 8, 2013. Typhoon Haiyan, the strongest storm to ever make landfall in recorded history, ravages central Philippines.
Being inundated with water in less than 30 seconds.
Tacloban City, the economic, administrative, and educational hub of Region 8, an island group directly facing the Pacific, suffers massive loss of life and property to hurricane winds and tsunami-like storm surges. In spite of thorough preparation, available disaster risk reduction knowledge proved insufficient to brace for a storm of such unprecedented magnitude.
The power of the storm surge, it's almost like a tsunami hit this area. Unfortunately, they are pulling bodies out of the rubble behind me.
Humanitarian action faced great challenges, but today, Tacloban City's resilient people are well on their way to bouncing back from tragedy. Tacloban City partnered with UN Habitat to craft a master plan for early recovery, a roadmap to smoothly transition Tacloban from the emergency phase to long-term development. Community involvement and positive collaboration was at the heart of the planning process from day one. 4 months after the storm, the master plan was presented to the people of Tacloban City in a public forum attended by over 1,000 people. Today, big-name businesses have reopened and serve as beacons for restoring investor confidence. Coca-Cola invested millions of dollars to rehabilitate their bottling operation, which should provide employment to hundreds of people. Tacloban was home to 16,000 businesses prior to Haiyan. So far, 7,300 have sprung back. But many local businesses who had lost everything could still use a lot of help.
Nakaayos nga kasi natulungan kami sa pwesto. Ang problema naman, pampuhunan. Kaya yung ibang stalls dito, sir, hindi pa nagbukas.
Unlike previous typhoons who just damage one portion of their warehouse or one portion of their store, this time around, from their store to their warehouse to their houses, everything was either completely or heavily damaged.
It's been hard, but we had to rebuild. This is home. It's a growing, bustling city. For the recovery, I'm so surprised that we have recovered very fast. We are hoping that Tacloban will go back to the way it was before and even better.
Tacloban City arose as an aggregation of age-old fishing villages. As the city grew, the population's livelihood shifted from fishing to local employment. Poor settlers in coastal areas do realize the dangers of living too close to the sea, but they choose to stay because of proximity to their livelihood. The Philippines is one of the most storm-racked countries in the world and one of the most vulnerable to the effects of climate change. In the wake of a disaster, these people inevitably sink deeper into poverty. This vulnerability should be enough motivation for the Philippines to become a global center for advocating climate change and disaster risk resilience. Sadly, these conversations remain at the level of world leaders and national governments. Knowledge and billions in development aid earmarked for these causes have yet to cascade to the level of cities. At the same time, city learnings and realities have yet to fully brief the world on their role in resilience building. So far, cities have yet to learn to make strategic investments on disaster preparedness. As a consequence, disaster response is so much more expensive than it needs to be. This is a tragedy, because it is preparedness that spells resilience. For instance, instead of putting too much money in evacuation centers, cities should be locating residential developments in safer zones. The task at hand is to follow through on the city's master plan for sustainable recovery, build safe settlements for informal settlers in a new township in the city's uplands, and start an economic chain reaction by providing a conducive environment for business. More businesses means more jobs, and greater buying power for the population will incentivize more businesses to open. Tacloban City's best days are yet ahead. We are one with you in the advocacy to build resilient cities, not only in Tacloban, but in many more cities in our urbanizing world.